Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Township Clerk Allison Adam, I call this meeting to order at 7:28 p.m. Soon to be members of council, guests, and township staff, and also to those unable to join in person but are viewing online. Thank you very much for joining us this evening at the inaugural meeting of council for the 2022 to 2026 term. My name is Adam Bettridge, Chief Administrative Officer and Deputy Clerk for the Township of Malahide. Tonight, 7 individuals from the township will be swearing an oath of allegiance and declaration of office. These individuals will become our newly elected council. To these individuals, congratulations. Our country is built on the foundation of democracy, and tonight is the culmination of that. For everyone else in the room and viewing online, the lives of these 7 individuals now includes responsibilities that very few of us have ever shouldered. And even with these responsibilities, I know and appreciate how keen these individuals are to get started with its term of council. For this group of individuals, on behalf of Township Clerk Adams and the rest of township staff, we weren't in your shoes when you were knocking on doors and speaking at engagements, so we can only appreciate and respect how hard you have worked to be where you're seated this evening, and in a few moments, becoming a part of Malahide Council either again or for the first time. Again, and acknowledging you've yet assumed your chairs at the council table, to each of you and to those on your support teams of family and friends, let's please give an applause for congratulations. Well done. Speaking again on behalf of staff, we are keen to work with you as well. We welcome and appreciate any new perspectives that will be shared and the respect for the past that you will demonstrate. Please know that there is support to help you both individually and collectively in order to make informed judgment and decisions. Even with these responsibilities and the tough decisions that lie ahead, from Avon in the north of the township to the end of the Fort Bruce Pier in the south, the Township of Malahide will continue under your guidance to be a truly wonderful place. I reference that there is support for you. Amongst the support includes former members of Malahide Council. Those former members have been in your shoes and have also been where you are tonight. Former councilors will be a tremendous asset. The beautiful facility we are gathered in tonight is here because of a former Malahide Council and strong community support. I'm sure those former councils wish this incoming group to have the same sort of positive achievements for the township. I also encourage you to make connections with your peers in other municipalities. Meet them at municipal conferences and training opportunities. Establish those connections or build further on the ones you already have. Ourselves on staff and those who live and do business here in Malahide look forward to your guidance, but also don't expect you to do so in a vacuum. Collaboration, teamwork, sharing, and growing can't be done alone, and nobody should expect or demand otherwise. Before the council members are asked to take their declaration of office, I would like to call upon Ryan, Rick, and Kevin Howe of Howe Family Farms to offer the keynote address for the inaugural meeting. Ryan, Rick, and Kevin are 5th-generation fruit and vegetable farmers. Their family has been farming in Elgin County since the 1860s. The Howe brothers are best known for growing strawberries, watermelon, and pumpkins, as well as for their 2 farm markets, Howe Family Farm Market on Highway 45 and Rogers Road, and Howe's Farm Market and Country Bakery on Highbury between St. Thomas and London. On the Howe farm, traditional family values are carried on and modern farming techniques are incorporated to grow the best flavored produce. They are advocates on the importance of eating local, supporting local, and being engaged within the community. Ryan, Rick, and Kevin, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of our community. It's an honor to be able to introduce and initiate the next 4 years and beyond. My brothers and I have been asked to speak about our family's history in Malahide Township. Our family moved to Elgin County sometime in the 1860s from a small town called Maidstone, known as the breadbasket of England, at a time when the wealthy thrived and the working class struggled. Our family saw opportunity to start fresh in Canada and found opportunity in the fertile soils of Elgin County. Like most farms at the time, we were a mixed farming operation, raising pigs, turkeys, horses, cows, growing grain, tobacco, apples, strawberries, watermelon, pumpkin, and potatoes. Throughout our 5 generations of farming here in Elgin County, there have been 3 partnerships between Howe brothers that have taken place, which has allowed us to carry on our family's legacy. Our grandpa Mervyn and his 2 brothers, Herb and Dave, our father Glenn and his brothers Bruce and Keith, and now the 3 of us. There's no question that our family has been through its fair share of hardships, unexpected deaths, droughts, extreme weather events, pandemics, recessions, and depressions. It has been the diversity of our business and its relationships that have kept our family afloat. The saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, take everyone. This has been a key to our family's farming success, whether it's through growing or raising a wide diversity of crops and animals, which has helped us mitigate risks which might impact one crop at one time, but not necessarily all crops throughout the year. Whether it's working closely with new families to this community to help them get a foothold within the area, examples of this were sharecropping tobacco with families like the Rommels, Fawcett's, or Van Dierenhoffs, all of whom learned how to grow the crop and earned enough money to start their own farms within the community. Finally, we've always been centered around our family, which without question kept us afloat through challenging years. Over the years, we've employed a significant amount of people. Strawberries, for example, would typically require 400 pickers to get the crop harvested. Picking strawberries on our farm was an unofficial rite of passage for anyone who grew up in Malahide. We are constantly greeted by customers at our markets that introduce themselves by saying they got their first job working for Mervyn or Glenn picking strawberries, and they appreciate the work ethic that was instilled in them from our farm. Strawberry picking is incredibly tough work. You're hunched over all day, exposed to the rain, the sun, high temps, and damp mornings. It's not everyone's first choice for a first job, but if you work hard, you can make good money. We felt that the workforce that shows up to work on our strawberry fields has been an indicator of the trends within our local economy.
There's no question that the past few years dealing with COVID has been difficult to say the least. But it seemed for our business that it seemed as though our business has been in survival mode for the past 15 years, jumping through challenge after challenge. In 2008, the tobacco buyout took place, which understandably led ex-tobacco farmers to look for new crops to grow. For our family, which established ourselves as strawberry, watermelon, and pumpkin growers, we saw a lot of new competitors, which resulted in lower pricing and lower demand. We had to differentiate ourselves in the marketplace by improving our quality and reliability through better forecasting and better communication with our grocery retailers. A few years after this, a new strawberry virus was found spreading through Canada, which cut our strawberry yields in half. We were at the point where we considered not growing and planting any more acres of strawberries, but decided to take a step back, do a good hard look, see how we can improve our yields. And we did so by reducing our acreage so that we could better manage our crop. The next hurdle was when minimum wage jumped 24%, adding an additional $300,000 labor expense to our bottom line. So we had to find new efficiencies in order to compete against imports out of California, which did not have the same sudden jump to their cost of production. Again, we decided to scale back production to better manage our crops, improve our yields, and produce more off of less. Because of these challenges and the fact that we took the approach to step back, reduce our acres to a more manageable level, and then scale production up once we perfected our growing process, we were able to remain viable in all the crops that we grew. We now yield over 3 times the provincial average for strawberries. We invested heavily into labor efficiencies for harvesting our watermelon crops, and we innovated new growing practices like our no-till pumpkin system, which reduced labor needs while also improving product quality and our environmental sustainability. If we continued growing large acres with average yields, we likely wouldn't be in business today. And a roundabout way of saying what I'm getting at is that challenging times make it difficult to be profitable with average production, but challenging times also inspire innovation. In 2014, we were recognized by Loblaws as their Ontario Grower of the Year in recognition of our leadership within the produce industry for food safety, quality, corporate social responsibility, and being consumer-centric. We now grow over 9.6 million pounds of fruit and vegetables, or roughly 1.1 billion calories, which is enough to feed over 1,400 Canadians for an entire year. We ship product as far south as Florida, as far east as Newfoundland, and as far west as Calgary. We've always been proactive when dealing with new and emerging trends or challenges, whether it's new crops or varieties, food safety, packaging, or like the past 2 years, anticipating skyrocketing pricing or product shortages, which caused us to pre-purchase things like packaging, fertilizer, seed, and to lock in fuel pricing prior to the season starting. We've always tried to work with our neighbors to find synergies between our businesses. For example, transferring workers between our farm and other farms like Environment Orchards to Brabender Farms or to Baker Farms, in order to keep workers busy during slow times and to utilize housing that would otherwise be sitting vacant until a later date, or even whether it's swapping land to mutually improve our business's crop rotations. The cost to produce, manufacture, package, or ship anything nowadays is exceedingly expensive. Competition is fierce and margins are tight. And all indicators are that the times ahead will at least be equally as challenging. For most businesses to succeed in the future, they will need to be strategic. They'll need to cut back on unnecessary costs. They'll need strong support from and need to give strong support to within their community, and will need to have a clear vision to navigate the road ahead.
On our farm, our vision is to be respected by our community and valued by our customers. Farm sustainable for generations to come. Our mission is to provide our customers with high quality, healthy, affordable produce by adapting innovative growing methods that improve the productivity, food safety, sustainability, and economic viability. Like Malahide, we are proud of our tradition and we see a bright future. The citizens, I feel that council needs to understand the needs of our local community through frequent communication with various stakeholders. The citizens of Malahide also have a responsibility to engage with members of council and provide key input on their needs, whether through stakeholder groups, surveys, or committees. The direction of council should be based on our community's needs. When considering infrastructure enhancements, look around the area and see where synergies can be formed between businesses and other communities. Eliminate redundant builds or builds that might take away services already provided elsewhere in the community. Finding these efficiencies will help continue to make the community a desired place to live without overburdening the ratepayers and businesses with higher taxes. Strategic growth will continue to make Malahide a place where people want to raise their children. Our business has always made decisions based on input from the bottom up, not the top down. Whether it's taking feedback from our employees on ways to make their job easier, or whether it's taking customer feedback from our farm markets and using that to develop and pitch new products for our wholesale customers. Top-down decision-making ignores the details that matter most. The biggest problem that we feel council faces is that governance within Ontario and Canada tends to make decisions from the top down, which does not always represent what is best for all the people of the country, and usually does not represent what is best for our immediate community. The closer the governance is to the source, the better represented the source will be. In all our dealings with Malahide staff, whether it be dealing with building permits and on our farm and farm market, finding information from clerical staff, or dealing with roads and drainage departments, we have always found the staff to be knowledgeable, easy to work with, community-centered, and proficient in their roles. We're grateful for all the work that they do. We're also grateful to all of you, past and present, for sitting on council, dedicating your time and effort to make Malahide a better place. We wish you good luck serving the people of our community. Thank you.
Okay, so on behalf of the council members, I would like to thank you for your inspirational message this evening. I would also like to offer you a token of our appreciation for joining us this evening. So I will now ask the members of council to come forward when they are called upon to take the declaration of office. I will be asking each member to read aloud the declaration and then to sign 2 copies. One which you will keep and one that will be kept at the council chambers for the remainder of the council term to serve as a reminder of their oath and obligations to their respective offices. I will begin with the office of mayor, followed by deputy mayor, and then each of the ward councilors in numerical order. Mayor Dominique Chiquer.
I, Dominique Giguère, having been elected or appointed to the office of mayor in the township of Malahide, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Deputy Mayor Mark Widner.
I, Mark Widner, having been elected or appointed to the office of Deputy Mayor in the Township of Malahide, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it has the same force and effect as it made under oath. Start now.
Councillor for Ward 1, Sarah Leach.
I, Sarah Leach, having been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor Ward 1 in the Township of Malahide, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Councillor Ward 2, John H. Wilson.
I, John H. Wilson, having been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor Ward Two in the Malahide Township, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interests, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Counselor for Ward 3, Rick Serna.
I, Rick Serna, having been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor Ward 3 in the Township of Malahide, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if it made under oath.
Counselor Ward 4, Scott Lewis.
Evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I, Scott Lewis, having been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor Ward 4 in the Township of Malahide, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in bias, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance to the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration, consciously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Finally, Counselor for Ward 5, Chester Galinsky.
I, Chester Galinsky, have been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor Ward 5 in the Township of Malahide, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or rewards or promises thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or improper manner. I will disclose my pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath.
So now that they've taken the declaration of office, it is my pleasure now to turn the meeting over to Her Worship Mayor Dominique Giguère to present her inaugural address.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here on this very special occasion. It is truly my honor to share my inaugural message with you as your new mayor. So we're a long way away from my participation in a contest when I was in grade 5 for mayor for a day. So I thought I had written a pretty good essay, but I didn't win, and I didn't get to be mayor for a day. Oh, well, my teacher said, don't worry, Dominique, this was not your time. Well, guess what? Now is my time. And besides, I think in hindsight, that worked out pretty well because with inflation, I don't get to be mayor for a day. I get to be mayor for 1,460 days. So I think that worked out better. But I want to be clear. This isn't just the right place and the right time for me. We are in the right place at the right time. It is the perfect time for this council to learn and to build from all who have served before us. Along with staff, families, farmers, entrepreneurs, and community leaders, previous councils have shaped the traditions that will influence us, and they have paved the way, and I mean literally paved the way, toward the bright future that is ahead of us. And thank goodness those roads are well paved, because I'm afraid there are some difficult driving conditions ahead of us. Driving our community towards our bright future will need all of us to adjust our game, because what it means to be a municipal government today is being transformed right before our eyes. And that's because we're dealing with a mix of environmental, economic, technological, political, and social forces never seen before in this combination. And to add to that, most of these forces are beyond our control at our individual and municipal level. So whether you've been on council for a few minutes or a few decades, whether you've just moved here or you've been a multi-generation family, whether you've just or recently joined Malahide staff, or you've been a long-standing loyal employee, all of us will have to come together and we'll all have to adjust to the new realities and new ways of working. But I'm looking around and I'm not worried one bit. And I know that we'll manage because somehow the stars have aligned to actually bring us together in our own unique, unprecedented combination of council, staff, and ratepayers and community leaders. Just take, for example, 2 women on council, unprecedented. So you can see why I'm not worried. We can and we will play this new municipal game successfully, and I will make sure of that. How? Well, with just one basic expectation. That expectation is that we all reset our password and log in to this new game. Are you intrigued? And to make it easy, because changing passwords is not fun, I made I went ahead and I changed the passwords for everybody at once. Because I want as many people as possible to be participating in this game and as many people as possible to be engaged. In fact, I know I'm going to make people, like IT people, crazy because I'm going to ask you to actually share your password with everyone in this community. And I'm not going to ask you to change this password every 6 months. In fact, I'm going to expect you to keep it for at least the next 4 years. So what is the password? Well, you got a pen? And actually, I assure you, it's not one of those, 12 digits with multiple different characters. It's just really, really simple. It's actually just 3 numbers. Feel free to write it down, even on a Post-it and go home, put it under your keyboard with all of your other passwords. But I assure you, again, this one's easy. It's just 104. That's your password. And that's not a randomly generated password either. I picked those numbers to remind us the first digit is 1. To remind us that we are one team made up of council, staff, and residents. We each play one position. So to move forward, to keep our community in the game in a sustainable and prosperous way, we have to stick to that one position, play as one team, and keep passing the puck to keep things moving forward. Because let me be clear, when you're on the Malahide team, you pass the puck. We don't pass the buck. The next tactic is the next digit is 0. 0 stands for 0 surprises, 0 ego, 0 drama. When you play on Team Malahide, your focus is the success of others. So when you pass the puck, you make sure others on the team can see it coming, always. And you make sure your actions are for the long-term benefit of others. That's the meaning of a community and a municipality. And not only I will insist, and not only that, but I will insist on the 0 surprise and 0 drama tactic, because it's a proven tactic to easily cut waste and increase efficiency. And that's what is expected of us. And I've seen it work before. So the last digit, do you remember? Did you write it down? 1, 0, 4. So the 4 is to remind us that the key tactic, again, to stay in this game and be successful is to be forever curious, forever learning, forever listening, forever seeking to understand the other position, forever asking questions of one another. That's what, once again, is expected of us. Forever seeking to understand others from the bottom up is another simple and very effective tactic to reduce conflict and, again, to reduce waste in any organization. It's also the way to succeed in this new, totally unpredictable game. The bottom line, if you're on the Malahide team, as council, as staff, as ratepayer, and if you want to get things done faster, better, more efficiently, which is what I heard when I knocked on doors, and many of you did as well, then you know your new password is 104. Global forces out of our control may have created formidable opponents and may have changed the rules of the game and what it means to be a municipal government. But as I said earlier, the stars have also aligned to create a formidable team, the Team Malahide, one team. We have been brought together, I believe, in the right place at the right time. So my grade 5 teacher was correct. Back then was not the right time. Now is the right time, and I can't wait to work with all of you. Let the game begin. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you, Her Worship, for that motivating and very positive message that I'm sure the council members will reflect on frequently over this term. It is my pleasure now to turn the meeting over to the council members who wish to make remarks. No particular order.
Five is supposed to be last, but I guess five is first this time. I don't have a long speech, but I do have a couple of things written down and mainly to thank everyone that I've come in contact with. So I thank the residents of Ward 5 for their confidence in electing me to represent you. It is a great honor to be your counselor in Ward 5, Malahide. I thank Helena, my wife, for never-ending support. I thank administration, past and present, for your timely response to concerns of Ward 5 and Malahide. I look forward to working with council on many projects that we will tackle in the next 4 years. And one more item for the staff. When you look good, we look good. So make us look good, staff. Thank you.
Okay. I'm grateful to be able to represent the township as your incoming deputy mayor. I also want to thank those that encouraged me to put my name forward. I'm looking forward to this new term of council and welcoming back Chester, Rick, Scott, and Dominic. And our new members, Sarah and Johnny. I believe we will work well together for the betterment of Malahide. There's plenty of work ahead, but ultimately the time seems to pass quickly, so let's move quickly. And being the deputy mayor allows me to be a member of county council that will allow me some champions, some projects I feel personally need to proceed. One of my opinion is a roundabout that should be installed at the intersection of Imperial Road and Ramen Yellow Line. And John Wise and Imperial is becoming bad also. Nearly fatal collisions have proven to me that after all has been done to stop accidents, they're not working. I live within earshot of this intersection personally. Heard both fatal crashes the last 2 years. The intersection on paper may be fine and driver error is usually the cause, but I feel enough of the studies. Let's just get something done. And finally, our recent department head changes. We've had quite a few over the last 3 or 4 years. And I was actually on the hiring committee and Dominique's been on it. And we've picked some really great people. Very much. And like Adam, our new treasurer, and Adam, our CEO. I don't know why we picked the same names. I guess that was just something at the hat. Jeff, our fire chief. Allison, the head of legislative services, and Matt, the physical services director. And if I forget anybody, I apologize. Our support staff and road crews, along with our fire service personnel, also work hard and are greatly appreciated. Keeping the halls functioning and groundwater drainage systems functioning are also important for many reasons. Also, a big thank you to my wife, Terry, for the support given to me over the years. Moving forward, help is appreciated. If I missed anybody, my apologies. Thanks everyone for coming, and I'm looking forward to the next term of council.
Good evening, everybody. Definitely want to say thank you for contributing to your community. I don't practice much. I don't. It's all straight from the pumpkin. I want to thank Ward 4, but I want to thank Malahide themselves. It isn't just Ward 4 that I serve. I hear calls from all over the township, and I'm glad people reach out because for some reason, some people don't feel comfortable talking to their counselor and they'll feel it's because they've had a transaction with you in the past that they trust you and they're going to go with you. So yeah, to hear from any side of the township is great. We're definitely looking at challenges ahead. I think we've got a great team. This 104, I think is going to be awesome. I love the whole idea. But it's going to be a team effort, and working with staff in my first term has been awesome. So I learned a lot from the fairgrounds here in Elmer, working with volunteers and with people, and staff are the ones that hold the shovels. So we might make the decisions. They're still the ones that are doing the work for us. So I really have to say kudos to staff because staff have learned to trust me. And that goes a long way because for my constituents in the north end, as far as that matters, it works because I can get things done. And the only reason we can get things done is because the expectation isn't beyond what it should be. Keep things moderate, things work really good. So thank you all, staff, for what you do. I really like Sue Lowen too. She's the payroll girl. And when I get her emails, it makes me smile. I'll be honest. I gotta say that. So she's one that probably doesn't get much credit and she probably makes everybody smile, to be honest with you. That's on the township. So yeah, I look really forward to the next 4 years working with everybody. I grew up with Johnny. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders and I think it's going to be a really good time with everybody we've got. We've got a great team. Thank you all for the support. I look forward to the next 4 years and the challenges we face.
Scott, you'll have to tell me what this 104 thing's all about. No, I don't. Good evening. I'm very happy to be here tonight to start my third term in office. I look around the table and I'm confident that even though we lost 2 treasured members of council this term, I see 2 great people ready to join us in making Malahide the choice of many. I feel that I am part of history here tonight, as sitting beside Max the last 2 terms, one of the longest serving councillors in Ontario, being replaced by a 5th generation Wilson. I feel honored. This term will be a difficult one as the cost of everything is skyrocketing, and it's up to us to keep our costs in line. I'm sure that with the people around the table and our dedicated ratepayers and staff who always offer great advice, we will get by. My congratulations to our new chief and her deputy. I'm confident that they will make sure we run a tight ship. Good luck to you both. I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of the main reasons that I am here. My friend and former colleague, Mike Wolf. May you keep resting in peace, Mike, and thank you. And thank all of you.
As this is my first term on council, my words are short, sweet, and to the point. I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight and being a part of this evening. I'd also like to thank the voters of Ward 1 for electing me to represent them. It is an honor to serve my council or to serve my community on this council. I look forward to working productively with all the members of this council and staff, continuing the momentum of the past to improve the quality of life for all of our families of Malahide into the future. Thanks.
So to keep it on the formal side, John H. Wilson was my great grandfather, and he was on South Dorchester Council many years ago. So I will try to live up to the name. I'll also try to live up to Max's shoes. I don't think I'm going to make 54 years, but Max was my first stop when as soon as I thought about running for council. I went to talk to him and let him know what my thoughts were. And when I said I didn't want to step on any toes, and when he said he'd been in council for 54 years, it was shocking, quite frankly. That's a long run, longer than I've been on the earth. So I look forward to working with present council and staff, and I'll do my best to fill some big shoes. Thanks.
That concludes the ceremonial part of the evening. Her worship has to close out her first meeting.
mover and seconder for bylaw number 22-84 being a confirmatory bylaw in first, second, and third reading. Property 9. Practice. I now need a mover and seconder that the council adjourn its meeting. 8:14, meet again on September 1st, 2022 at 7:30 PM. Carried. Thank you. Refreshment.